We cannot beat a 19th place Burnley side at home. We cannot even outplay a 19th place Burnley side at home. Do you know what the sad thing is? 2-2 draw, when you actually reflect the match as a whole of 90, it's probably a fair score because, yes, Manchester United could have had 3-4 goals. Bruno was putting them on a plate for, Anthony. Garnacho even had a good chance. Bruno Fernandes, he got a 9.6 rating on SofaScore without a goal or assist. He was that good creating chances for our players. And yes, we wasted a lot of chances. But if Andre Onana didn't pull out 4 or 5 worldy saves, Burnley could have scored 3 or 4 as well. It was an end-to-end game against 19th place Burnley that are going to be relegated. That is really, really concerning. If this is an Arsenal, if this is a Newcastle, end-to-end game, Aston Villa, fair enough. But Burnley, we've played Sheffield United and Burnley 4 times this season, and while we've won 3 of those and drawn the other, we've not actually outplayed them in any of those games. We outplayed Burnley the first 25 minutes. Burnley were the better team the last 20 minutes of the first half. We had a 10-minute spell in the second half. We outplayed Burnley. Then Burnley took control, and then the game was very mixed in control. If you look at the whole of the season, we haven't been able to control a single game for a full 90 minutes. You look at our best game this season where we had our strongest squad fully fit, Wolves away. First 45 minutes was brilliant in control. Couldn't control the second half. We cannot control games. Even when you're 3-0 up against Coventry in the Championship, who are 8th and are not even going to get promoted, and you've got 20 minutes to go, you can't even control the game and see out the game. These professional footballers are being paid 200, 300k a week. We're spending 85 million for Anthony, and he's got his first goal of the season at the end of April. 1 goal this season at the end of April from our 85 million pound winger. Does that not just summarise the state of the squad against the 19th place Burnley side? I've officially given up. Do you know what? We've conceded 5 penalties in our last 6 games that when the penalty was conceded, I said, I don't care anymore. I want to finish 6th. I want to be in the Europa League next season. I want to finish above Newcastle, who deserve 6th place. Look at their goal difference. Look at our goal difference. We've overachieved because we've got players like Bruno that are just specially talented that can pull us out of the mud. Newcastle had an injury crisis just as bad as us. They are round equal on us with points, but they played so much better football than us at times. We can't control games for 90 minutes. That's worrying. Sheffield United, Burnley. How are these players on this much money that we pay so much money for unable to control games? Elements of this is on Ten Hag and elements of this is on Ten Hag's tactics. Some of this is on the players as well. I mean, the individual quality on show is just embarrassing. I've officially given up on caring. I've given up on caring on this season because we 1-0 up against Burnley, they'll give away a penalty. We're a bottle of 3-0 lead to Coventry. They'll let Sheffield United go 2-1 up. They make every game hard. We can't just dominate a game and play a game with ease. There was 2 really good 20-minute spells, so 40 minutes versus Sheffield United, where I was so happy it was brilliant football. There was the first 20 minutes of this game where I was really happy but annoyed we hadn't gone 1-2 up because we were playing good football when we deserved that. And the reason I'm annoyed is because I know that we can't control games for more than 20 minutes. Win, lose, draw. Sheffield United was a little bit like this at times. Better overall, but it's Sheffield United. They've conceded 13 goals to Newcastle this season. 11 goals to Arsenal. They've conceded nearly 100 goals, averaging more than 3 goals conceded a game. Probably one of the worst teams in Premier League history. And we can't control games for 20 minutes. Brighton, when we lost 3-1, really good opening 20 minutes. Brighton, then nothing. Even Bayern Munich game, which we lost 20 minutes, which was good. This team can play football for 20 minutes, but not 90 minutes. That is worrying. That's on player mentality. That's on Ten Hag. That's on a multitude of things. But today's performance was just embarrassing because this is Burnley. This is Burnley with nothing to play for. This is Burnley that people have gotten past with ease. And I did a full match review here. And this was my thoughts and my summary of the match. Because you know what? Yeah, we could have maybe had a penalty on another day. And if we wore a sky blue shirt and we were Manchester City, we probably would have gotten a penalty. And we know that Manchester City get penalties for the most ridiculous things. And if Man United make one mistake, they'll give the opposition a penalty. But we didn't do enough to win. I showed you the statistics. I mean, we did do enough to win if we take our chances. But Burnley had just as many chances and Onana made saves. We dominated games and spells, but we didn't control the game. And ultimately, we've lost points from it. And this is my full-time review. Bruno Fernandes deserves better than this Manchester United team. 9 chances created. When we had the ball, he was doing things with the ball. The last 5 minutes of the game, he was a little bit iffy there. Probably that missed up that pass to Ahmad, But Bruno Fernandes, he's so much better than his team, and he does so much, and he could have 20 assists this season if he wasn't being underperformed by those around him. The attack was very underwhelming today, but I will not go on Højlund and Garnacho because of their youth and their rarity. Anthony actually made loads of good runs, but should have finished. He's just not Manchester United quality, let's be honest. Dropping points due to silly errors and mistakes, Casemiro and Onana both at fault for penalty. At the end of the day, if Casemiro doesn't do that, whatever he's doing, and Onana doesn't touch the keeper, you knew that penalty was going to be given because of what happened versus Wolves at home, first game of the season. Wan-Bissaka's looked lost and has been lost for a while. He's been poor. I mean, I'm at the point now where the way I look at Manchester United and everything going on in this club is players like Wan-Bissaka might not be here next season. We've got not much to play for. You might as well chuck in Amas, who could be part of the project next season. I'm actually feeling like that. Eriksen's not going to be here next season, so why don't we play Mason Mount over Eriksen? Anthony, Ineos don't rate. If Anthony's not going to be here next season, Eriksen's not going to be here next season. And this sounds crazy because Amas is a 17-year-old kid, but Wan-Bissaka's been consistently crap and not going to be here next season. Let's play Mount, let's play Ahmad, and let's play Amas, who are part of the project going forward. Yes, we can still finish 6th and we need Europa League for money and all of that, but I'm fed up of it. I do think Maguire had a good game, and him and Bruno are the only ones stepping up in these last games of the season. They're showing that they really do have the mentality. I think it's worrying that we can only control games in 20-minute spells, especially against the 19th place Burnley side, but we've spoken about that. I think it's worrying how Burnley could have won if Onana didn't make 4 brilliant saves. I think it's sad that in 4 games against Sheffield United and Burnley, we've not outplayed them once despite taking points. And on the other hand, we need to be more clinical. You can say, you know what, we had all these chances, but so did Burnley. At the end of the day, we did do enough to win the game. Did we deserve to win the game? Probably not. A draw was probably a fair score, but if we did win the game, you would say, you know what, we did enough to win the game, and in that sense, it was deserved. Bruno could have had 4 assists. Garnacho missed 1 big chance. Anthony missed 2 big chances. I do actually think, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, that Garnacho did have a good game, because every time he got the ball, he was trying to make things happen. Whenever he got the ball, he was carrying the ball forward, going forward, was really good one-on-one, putting in good crosses. He just needs to improve his finishing. He just needs to improve his decision-making. But because he's 19, it's normal at that age. And people will say, you know what, comparing Garnacho and Anthony's performance today, but Garnacho did a little bit more than Anthony, even though Anthony got the goal. One is a 23-year-old that's an £85 million signing, and one is a 19-year-old kid that already has like 10 goals this season when Anthony's got his first goal at the end of April. So that's why I'm a bit more harsh on Anthony than Garnacho, because Anthony was good off the ball, made loads of good runs off the ball, should have probably had 3 goals because of how good his movement was off the ball. But on the ball, he lacks the quality, but he works hard off the ball. He got his goal, and fair play to Anthony. You finally got your goal. There is elements of quality in Anthony, but overall he doesn't offer enough. So that's why I'm going to do that as well. I thought Dalot overall had a decent game as well. Like, I think Dalot hasn't been bad lately, but I think Dalot is exhausted. But because of all the injuries we've had at the back line, we cannot even rest Dalot. So my summary is, I'm just worried that we cannot outplay a 19th place Burnley side. I'm worried that we can only outplay Sheffield United in 20-minute spells. I look at Manchester United and I think, are these players professional footballers? I look at the fact that they're doing this, they're doing that, and I'm thinking, are you professional footballers? Because you don't look like professional footballers. One player that looked like a professional footballer and one player that looked like a footballer that's way too good to be at this club and deserves to win a trophy is Bruno Fernandes. 9 chances created, 4 big chances created, 4 crosses completed, 1.12 expected assists. Bruno does not come home with an assist. He does not come home with a goal. He doesn't even come in with 3 points because he's been let down. Now, I'm not going to really talk about Rasmus Højlund too much. I don't think Højlund had a good game, and I think Højlund's movement and back-to-goal game is poor, but I think elements of that is on coaching, structure and system. But I do think we need a second striker to take the pressure off Højlund because he's 20, he's raw. I still think we need another winger in there that's going to give real competition to Garnacho and Rashford because, again, Garnacho is raw, and there's elements of his game that is raw as well. I mean, look, we dropped points today. They won't blame Rashford. Rashford would have probably got the blame if he was playing today. But all in all, it just, good moments. Oh, really good 20 minutes. Good moments. Terrible again. Terrible again. Some players put in the effort. Some players didn't. Substitutions made no sense. Why is Maino coming off ahead of Eriksen? Maino's going to be here next season. Maino's had a decent game. Why is he always the first to come off? I don't know. Why are you playing Ahmad centrally when you need a goal? When Ahmad plays centrally as attacking midfielder, but why are you playing Ahmad as a striker? I don't know. I really don't know. But I honestly, I've stopped caring. Like, to be honest, I've got to the point where I've stopped caring. I can't really be bothered anymore, to be honest, because do you know what? Whenever I think we're going to change and we're going to see something different, we're going to see good football. It's the same stuff we've been seeing August, September. Nothing has changed since August, September. Sometimes we get results to paper over bad performances. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have 45 minutes of greatness where we can get excited. Sometimes we get a good win where we can get excited. But at the end of the day, the cycle continues. It's the same old United playing the same old football, the same old problems since the beginning of the season. That's what it is as well. And we've got Crystal Palace next, which are a good side with Glasner. And then we've got Arsenal. Then we've got Newcastle. Then we've got Brighton. We might not win any of our remaining games. That's the worrying thing.